360. Be professional. A valueless thing cannot exist. Whatever is less valued, is neglected. Whatever is gained by paying some value, is valuable. If somebody gets something without any cost, his greed is satisfied but he does not acquire self-confidence. Nothing can be gained without paying anything for it. In fact, nothing is valuable in this world. Value of anything depends on its acceptability. Always some valuable things are manufactured and the meaning of life is also changing day by day. Again, something becomes outdated with the passage of time and it loses its value. If you are conscious about the actual value of something, you can go closer to the reality. The ratio upon which a commodity or service is exchanged with one another is called exchange value. Exchange is a social process. The thing which is valueless is also having a market price. All the commodities and services, including a man's honor and conscience, have an applied value. A commodity or a service are such things by which people can meet their physical or mental demands. Commodities or services are having various utilities. As such, those are having huge demand in the market. Causes of difference of a commodity or a service depend on partiality, the difference of its nature, and partially on the social customs. Utility of a commodity is created by its actual quality. Demand of a commodity is created on the basis of its necessity. Requirement value along with utility should be there for a commodity or service. Without market competition, the quality of products is not possible. The price of products or services determined on the ratio of the labor of production. The business price of products or services determined on the ratio of production and demand. If the supply is not enough to meet the demand, the business price goes higher. Reversal: if the supply surpasses the demand, the price falls down. If the production or supply and demand are harmonious, then the business price and utility price become equal. It should be remembered that in an artificial way, by creating a difference between the utility price and business price, make a huge profit. All the services and commodities takes a particular commodity for comparison and equates it with everything. This is currency. This cycling of currency through continuous transfer from one hand to another is called currency velocity. If exchange is always done in cash in production and trade, it can never grow a large one. Use of currency notes should be reduced by promissory notes or credit notes. Although the total quantity of commodities remain the same, but the prices of gold, fuel and minerals vary, that is, if the market price is increased, more currency will be required and vice versa. One can calculate the necessity of money in a particular times if he knows the prevailing market price and the cash flow of that period. The more speedy the cash flow will be, the less cash will be necessary. Again, necessity of cash will increase with the decrease of speed of cash flow. When cash flow is hindered, social transaction of materials come to a stoppage. As during a crisis period, sales of commodities go down, flow of currency comes to a standstill condition and speed of its flow goes down. As a result, both sales and purchase come to a dead stop. Mismanagement in the process of production is responsible for such crisis. Symptoms of financial crisis and market recession: purchasing price of people gets down, enough supply exists in the market, labor remains unemployed. If import surpasses the export, a deep crisis is created in the financial condition. The value of currency falls down as a result. The raw materials and the imported goods are to be purchased at a higher price. Its instability is reflected in socio-economic life. Because of rapid distribution and consumption, production, excellence, trade and revenue get expanded. Due to disruption in the production of foods, consumers' products and service production, price inflation occurs. As a result, value of currency decreases and inflation occurs. Lack of planning ahead, incompetence, extortion, hoarding and also international market are responsible for the price hike. The average people do not earn as much as they need. Gap between incomes and expenditures reduced without ensuring the equity of resources in society. In a society where there is big disparity between different classes, it is bound to be affected by erratic market behavior. The field of flow of commodities is both national as well as international. So different currencies are used in international trade such as deco or dollar. But the value of gold or petroleum products are equal everywhere, which is considered as a unit of value of all currencies. So, when one country is to pay money to another country, it is to calculate the value of its currency with the value of gold or petroleum's products. Value of gold is the unit of calculating the value of any currency. When somebody is compelled to join a profession, irrespective of his wish and will, no strong mentality is grown there. Most of the men are compelled to accept such a profession for his livelihood, which is against his will and ability. A man is to learn his profession through hard work. Most of the men cannot succeed in this process. But the job of a woman as a housewife or as a mother is her own job, and it is habitual to her. There is the best way to do everything, even to boil an egg. An artist entertains others with beauty and pleasure through his artistic works, as bees distribute honey for others. He who works with his hands only is a worker. He is a technician who works with his brain along with his hands, and he who combines his heart with his hands and brain is an artist. Trade and commerce is meant for keeping us physically alive, and art is meant for keeping our hearts lively. An efficient person in his own professions can be compared with an expert physician. He who works should be trusted. A research fellow should be suspicious. A scientific worker should be a worker and a research fellow at the same time. It is not possible to promote a business without proper and timely supervision. Activeness is the soul of a business. A businessman should not be a foppish man, and to be a husband one should be manly. Business can be compared with oil, as oil does not mix up with anything but oil. Business is exactly like that. The business of all is business of none. Business does not bow its head to any day other than death. There is an utility in every business to maintain the social norms. Business is the media of equity between nations. Businessmen have no particular homeland. Engage yourself in business. Start an industry and leave the illusion for service. One can lead an independent profession by a business. Many men becomes impatient to be successful just after starting a business. And if he faces a bit loss at the beginning, he starts seeking a service without any delay. Somebody cannot steadily engage himself in business. He cannot succeed in this profession. He who can tolerate the initial loss of a business becomes gainer ultimately. One can't expect anything without taking any loss. No pain, no gain. Fools learn after losing and cleavers learn after observing. One's working efficiency is proved when he can increase his cash capital to a large extent. Run your business properly, otherwise it will drive you. He who starts with much earns less. When a man succeeds, he becomes free from anxieties, but he may become lethargic. A business must give reminders to his debtors, otherwise they don't pay the debts. To increase your wealth, you are to increase your income and decrease your expenses. You can go for a mission if there is a possibility of gain. It is ultimately a loss for you if you don't invest your money properly and can't increase your profit. A direct loss is more harmful than an indirect one. A businessman whose partner is more powerful than him is never safe. When an organization is run by more than one people, nobody dares to make any malpractice there, even if he intends to do it. A bank is more furious than a violent soldier. A mortgage remains trustful, but a mortgager finds out the loopholes of the mortgage and keep on torturing there. If you remain always conscious, you won't be loser. An old commodity can be sold by a reduced rate, presenting it in a new way with a less price. More sale with less profit generates more profit at the end. When possibility is there to face difficulty in profiting more, it is better to sell a thing in less time with a less profit. When supply of daily essentials is less than demand, a trader can make a huge profit. It is not profitable to sell a commodity where it is produced. When a commodity is not up to the required standard, it won't be sold even after hard efforts, and the seller is to be loser sooner or later. In the present production process, a particular standard of a commodity is maintained, and as the commodity is for consumption of the customers, a particular class of people are required to purchase it. The said particular standard is called equity. When you purchase something, use your eyes not ears. In practice, demand is created by supplying instead of supplying on demand. Because a customer does not know what he wants. So demand, satisfaction and consumption are unlimited. At the same time, the traders have an urge for increasing their profit. Among the customers, middle-class people are majority, among whom ladies are the highest in number. It is a clever tactics of the businessmen to make the customers habitual to credit, hire purchase and loan in disguise of payment on installment. Capital is required before starting a business. Business is impossible without capital. If you have capital and have courage and intelligence at the same time, it will be wise for you to start a business. When luck favors, he starts rising up and up, rich and richer. He reaches up to the peak of success. Most of the time, the ambition of an experienced industrialist comes to a success. A man who is lazy, proud, non-enthusiastic, afraid of bad reputation and lingering, can never earn much. Avoid these 6 faults: sleep, drowsiness, fear, laziness, anger and wasting time. Luck must favor you. If your capital ends up, you will soon be a bankrupt. Business means increase of capital. Labor is one of the commodities of capitalism. Capital is a dominating political power. As nature hates a vacant space, capital also run away from profitlessness or less profit, but capital is too much courageous where sufficient profit is there. Capitalists invest money anywhere for 10% profit, but they express extra interest for 20%. At this stage 50% shows offensiveness openly and 100% becomes ready to smash all human values with their feet. Cost of production plus profit is equal to the price of a commodity. When cost of production is deducted from the price of a commodity, the profit is derived. The process of purchasing a commodity with the purpose of selling it at a higher rate changes a currency into a capital, and the surplus amount of the currency is called surplus value. Surplus value depends on length of working hours, speed and efficiency of the workers and their wages. If the working days and intensity of work increases and wages decreases, profit increases. A capitalist invests capital as much required for quick sale of the products. A capitalist is to keep a portion of his capital reserve, as in the process of reproductive system, he is to continue production process to supply his commodities to the market continuously. When a product is sold and again returns back to production of capital, is called turnover. The shorter this period of return is, the more the speed of capital increases and the profit also rises. Monopoly business is the source of unlimited income. In this way, it is possible to fix the rate of commodity according to one's wish, and huge profit can be earned by stocking, without facing competition. In monopoly business they can purchase all the commodities exclusively, and again they can control the market according to their choice, and as such they get to change malpractice and to materialize their greed. For maintaining the common interests of a small group of traders of same nature follow some common rules. Oppression of the syndicate of traders and the individual traders are more severe. They openly seize the money and sometimes lives of many people in lieu of a very little amount of money. Value is created by labor, so a capitalist should find out such a commodity, use an application of which means the product of surplus value. The motto of capitalism is profit, competition and enjoyment. In this process, women, children and the poor community are mostly loser. Everything is taken up on need basis. Difference between the price of a commodity and the wages of the works is equal to the profit of a capitalist. Cost of production goes down and profit goes up when a product is produced in a short time. Depreciation goes up when continuous production is not there. Initial capital of a capitalist increases with different elements of process such as labor force and raw materials for production. Either in slavery or in labour system, outputs of the surplus working hours of the slaves or the labourer, who are the actual producers, are always snatched away and enjoyed by the capitalists. In all the process of productions, capital dominates labor. Different amount of minimum capital is required in different types of production. The producer tries to increase their profit by decreasing cost of production and increasing working efficiency and period. Purpose of a producer is to win the competitive market by increasing rate of production and decreasing price of the commodities. If the same amount of capital is used in the process of production without any surplus value, is called simple reproduction. The main target of a capitalist is the exchange value of his commodities. As rise in price is his only desire, he compels the workers to produce for the sake of production. Capital is otherwise called the recess of enjoyment, which gradually concentrates the social wealth to the wealth of the capitalists. Although the social capital is scattered to many hands, yet its rise is called centralization. But when many capitalists go out of the market and the capital is concentrated to a less number of capitalists is called centralization. A large-scale cooperative association is required to increase individual capital and to increase the rate of production. The decentralized cooperative movement should extended for benefit of producers and purchaser. Cottage industry and firms should establish expanded it door to door. Large-scale industries can destroy the small-scale industries through competition. The competition is conducted through reducing prices of the commodities. Reducing prices of the commodities depend on rate of production by the workers. Rate of production can be increased by increasing capital and introducing large-scale cooperative production. Political unrest is contradictory to industrial production and economics. The economics is creation and distribution of resources. A capitalist can be a greater capitalist by destroying another capitalist through the war of competition. As a result, gradually, number of capitalists will decrease and a few number of big capitalists will exist, and then poverty, torture, slavery and oppression will extend day by day. Business does not depend on capital only, but it also depends on intellect as well. The business cannot sustain if lack of faith remains among producer and consumer, owner and employees. A subordinate is judged by his actions, not by the work. The intelligent and foresighted people make more profit by investing less money. It is not possible to run any business without taking the shelter of some pretension. No commercial activity is completed without any hypocrisy. One is start a business himself. A business should be such where the owners need not to remain present. An efficient manpower is required to conduct a business. If the owners want to run their business themselves, their merit and time will be wasted and they will lose the chances of new investments. If an owner works himself for his business, then it does not remain a business but a service. It is really tough to find out a devoted, trustworthy, honest, active, hardworking, efficient, courageous, enthusiastic, that is, a good employee. A businessman should attend to the commodities which are valuable, income generating, have a probability of rise in price and have sufficient demand in the market. An intelligent investor don't wait for the season of a particular business, but he always remains prepared for any situation, so that he may not lose any chance losing time for preparation. He knows that first of all, he should make profit during purchase, otherwise he won't be able to make profit while selling it. They wait with patience. Investment will come and go away, market will rise and fall, economy will grow and break down. This process goes on. There will be a change in the world. Changes are continuously going in science and technology. Every day of our life is giving us opportunities for once only. But most of the time, we don't see those. But these opportunities may help us to attain financial security for generations after generations. New chances are availed by the capitalists to expand the list of their assets with the change of the nature of the market and controlling the supply according to the demand of the market. A lot of money can be earned through executing a single agreement between a seller and a purchaser. This is an easy and simple instance of earning money by using brain only. If you want to be a mediator, first search for purchasers and then sellers. Those who are habituated to think over trifle matters all the time, can never rise up. First think high. Activeness wins over inactiveness. The small companies dealing with stock exchange have rise up through their activeness. Every self-made man starts with a little idea, then he makes it greater. to side with what you have in your brain and hands. Money is only an idea. One cannot become financially solvent if he uses his brain and time like a fool. Take a decision to improve your financial status using each farthing judiciously each day after finding out various ways of making the best use of money. The future of yourself and your next generation will be decided on your decision taken today, not on tomorrow. Take time and grow knowledge in economy. Apply the powers of your brain as well as your wealth. Remember, time is also one of your wealth. Knowledge on economics consists of 4 applied efficiencies: knowledge of economics, strategy or technique of investment, demand of the market and supply, and law and accounting. Knowledge of economics is accounting, investment, coordination of market and laws. It becomes easier to earn money with the applied efficiency of all these factors. A well-planned process is to be found out for making success in earning money. Knowledge of economics means more than one substitutes. Rich people take risk of investing money judiciously and with creative way of thinking. They can never be a gainer who never want to be a loser. They think over the number of possibilities to come out after investing a particular amount in a particular sector instead of thinking over pessimistically. For occurring a particular occurrence, people may have to wait for a long time. It is just like expecting that all the traffic signals will be green before you start from your home. The greatest asset is our intelligence. If we can train it up well, it can produce a huge money within no time. And a mentality without any training may beget an extreme poverty which may continue through generations after generations. It is not an unrealistic or imaginary idea that anybody can earn a lot of money. There are thousands of ways for serving a particular purpose. Only a strong foundation and technique is required. The transactions which make a rich richer are very risky. Well-protected and secured investments are not so much profitable. Financial intelligence recognizes bad transactions and can make it a good one. Knowledge, experience and training is required for this. Sow a small number of seeds. You will find that some of it will grow up and some will not. Applied knowledge, intelligence and concentration are required for lessening loss and risk. Whatever you know is the greatest wealth, and whatever you don't know is the greatest risk. Risk is always there and always will be there. So, you should face the risk and not to overlook it. One can prosper in a losing situation with his economic intelligence. You are to find out the ways of investment and to organize efficient, experienced and intelligent persons, if you want to be economically judicious. Different techniques, formulas and models are used to earn more with the help of money and intelligence. These are really creative. So, a businessman should know the techniques of the present marketing science. Big businessmen and bureaucrats know it inheritably. Be expert in a particular technique and then learn another. If you can't earn sufficient amount of money, change your technique again. In this quick-changing world, what you know is not so much valuable. Because probably what you know is mostly outdated, so that is important how quickly you can learn the new techniques. He who gets more information at a proper time, becomes rich quicker than others. This is the age of information technology. Nowadays, information moves throughout the world at the speed of light. Now, we are to adjust ourselves with the techniques of science and technology. Because some old ideas are a great hindrance towards our progress. Somebody does not want to understand it and to change their lives. They don't understand that those ideas were assets for us in the past, but now it is outdated. Information is invaluable. A good middleman should pass all informations and to train you up managing a time for this. These people are professional experts. A businessman's income increases by their service, so they should be sincere towards expenditure for them. You can make as much wealth as they can. They will act as your eyes and ears in the market. Common people pay 15-20% tips to people from their budget, but they feel it hard to spend 3-6% for the people who help them to increase their wealth. Behave justifiably with them and they will also behave well with you. If you always think how to deduct their commission, then why will they remain beside you? Payment of money is a must for earning money. In average, among 10 investments 2-3 budget a huge profit, 2-3 budget loss, and the rest 5-6 budget no profit. So, always keep the loss limited within your invested capital. Gamble with so much amount of money loss of which won't harm you significantly. Those who don't like to take risk and want to invest their money in a definite and secured way, keep their money in a bank. Less savings for a long time is better than no savings. But it takes much time to get back your money. Way through which you can earn more than your investment and where you get an asset free after recovering your full investment is important. For example, you have purchased a motor vehicle by 3 lakh on credit. And you give rent vehicle and within 3 years' time you have repaid its price fully along with the interest. At last, you have got the vehicle as an asset. As a state policy is fully a state's own affair, livelihood of a man is also his personal affair. As such, so much competition, jealousy, fraud and meanness are there in this field. Whatever a man wants to get in any way. You are greedy, as such, you wall up your house. I am also greedy, as such I break into your house. If you make a trick, I will make a technique. These are the realities of the world. All the kingdoms and empires and all the major activities of the world are running on this principle. Greed for wealth is the root of all the disturbances in the world. He who is never cheated, cannot cheat somebody else. Exploiters become rich by exploiting the poor and weak people. Nobody can be a wealthy man without corruption, exploitation and misappropriation of others' money. As there is only one way to give birth to a child, there is the only one way to become a billionaire, and that is theft and corruption. Nobody can be a rich man by earning money alone. Public money is ownerless like rainwater, anybody can earn it if he has the required qualities. A man becomes a rich man by misappropriating the money of the government, state, nationalized financing organizations, which is the public money. Purpose of being a rich man is not to accumulate abundant of money for oneself only, but side by side to make his neighbors poor as well. Otherwise one does not get full satisfaction of being a rich man. To become a rich man in an undeveloped country means to spoil a nation to a great extent. The great thieves snatch away the scopes of stealing by the small thieves. He is the greatest rich man who has nothing of his own. A single correct idea saves one from the fatigue of acquiring a long experience. The country where both seller and purchasers are thieves, where most of the government officials take bribe, controlling of market there means to create a scope for black marketing. So far, a person or a nation has become rich by dint of all kinds of injustice and cruelty. One can own money double than another, by only swallowing someone's money, otherwise he would be parallel to others. The best way to become a rich man is not to spend. He who is not capable of being a wealthy man is afraid of spending money. A master finds out endless faults of his subordinates. Sometimes again, a master is to pretend like a deaf and sometimes else like a dumb. A master's eyes are more active than his hands. Those who can get their works done by others, don't bother to be polite to others. Pay the wages to the laborer before his sweat dries up. Remuneration of a worker may sometimes be paid by appreciation. He who gives pleasure to others, deserves love from others. We want to see the account of our enter loss or profit instantly like a small shopkeeper, but accounts of a large-scale trade cannot be calculated in this way. Ideology of a nation can be judged by its advertisements. Modern business depend on instigating and alluring people. Purpose of an advertisement is to create a new want in the people's mind for a thing which they have not yet enjoyed. Popularity of yourself or your commodities will not increase without publicity. The most important factor of a successful advertisement is to express more in less word. When packets, label, trademark, design and publicity of a commodity are attractive, the commodity itself will also be attractive to the consumers. Nowadays, nothing is accepted automatically, but strong efforts are required to make a commodity acceptable to the people. Publicity is also required for the sermon of Jesus to be acceptable to the people. In this age, publicity is customary and praising is quite natural. God himself may lose his charm without publicity. Everything is going to be excellent only with the help of advertisement. Through advertisement, an obsolete commodity may be converted into a hot cake in an unknown and ordinary matter, or a person can be converted as a popular one. With the help of an advertisement, a third-class book makes its place side by side with the first-class book. To do business without an advertisement and to give a sweet smile to a beautiful woman from darkness are the same. You only know what you are doing, but nobody else knows it. Publicity is the life of commerce. Advertisement means publicity, and publicity means expansion. Media pushes a business forward. A weighing scale does not differentiate between gold and lead. Some traders use some particular kinds of scales to deceive the purchasers, such as those are made of light metals so that those can be leaned to the deserved side according to the wish of the seller. Sometimes lead or mercury is entered in its beam at the side where the commodities are kept. Sometimes holes are made on the beam so that it goes down due to weight of the air, and sometimes they use ropes with knots to make one side of the scale heavier. The trick by which a genuine commodity is replaced by an ingenuine commodity is called removal. Deceive purchasers by pouring down in a cupboard intentionally to collect it later on. Use looks and internationally pour down with the hooks with an intention of stealing, and by weighing scale and weight applying various tactics. And sometimes they mix some other cheap materials with valuable materials to deceive the customers. Sometimes they pack ingenuine materials inside and genuine materials on the top. Sometimes they remove some commodities after it is weighty packed. Fraud on scale: remove some commodities after it is weighed, take away some additional commodities before it is weighted. Traders raises the normal prices of the commodities through different tricks. They sell a commodity at a price more than what is written on its label. They sell a commodity at a higher price when its price goes a slight higher. To control the price hike, price fixation of product and service at maximum and minimum, intelligence should be appointed to collect information of market, ensuring distribution and stock, control private stocker. Tax department should have informations like which product is produced where, its brand name, number, quality and quantity of the product, and other full descriptions regarding the trades. Duties of tax department is assessment and collection of current and outstanding taxes, assessment of income and expenditure of the probable taxpayers, finding out the sources of different kinds of taxes, arrangements of collection of taxes, acquiring knowledge on different kinds of taxes and an overall knowledge on taxation. The 1/3 tax was fixed for crops produced. A taxation officer may earn in some other ways, for example, taking toll from a defaulter, taking toll by showing his authority, taking bribe from a taxpayer by exempting him from taxation, and taking toll in disguise through gift. At the same time can create chaos between wicked persons and can control them easily. A government can raise the collection of revenue by investigating the sources and amounts of income from the corrupted persons. Financial ministry is to control capital, interest and taxes. When a government officer is appointed for a particular position in a particular place for a long time, normally he tends to take bribe by giving undue advantages to the dishonest persons. Monarch servants have been given his lands instead of cash money. Arrange for fooding, lodging and salary of the employers according to the importance of their works. Don't lose your temper on the failures of your subordinates. Don't be excited and impatient when they make a mistake. Because one should not be angry or revengeful while carrying out duties of the state. Different departments of the government administrator is to look after corruption, bribe, duties of the government officials and finding out falsifications. Products and the income derived from, giving short measure, mixture of genuine and spurious objects, to render truth false and falsehood true. Concerned government officers should inspect the heritages, holy places and the activities of the scholars, distressed people, orphans and women, and they should take interview of the visitors of the working places and should take necessary action as deemed fit. A prostitute misuses the power of reproduction. On the other hand, an honest woman is guilty of hindering the power of reproduction. A prostitute can increase her income to a great extent by acting, dancing, singing, playing instrumental music, sweet words, showing acrobatics, recitation, painting works, practicing astrology, manufacturing essence, making garlands, body massage, making fun, through sex play, etc. Once the commodities comes to the control of a person, it exiles difference in the standard of living between class to class, which brings difference and distinction in all spheres in life. The object of classification is commodities and relative facilities. Class relation is mainly conflict and dashing. It is influenced to a great extent by determining the structure of different department and corporation by financial grants. In the world, people engage themselves in different professions according to their merits. People are divided according to the nature of their jobs. The money earned by an ordinary means can be doubled when some technique is added to it,